Welcome to the fascinating world of the Mycenaeans, the early Greek-speaking people who laid the foundations for much of what we know as ancient Greek culture. Long before the classical age of Socrates, Plato, and the Athenian democracy, even before the legendary tales of Homer, there existed a vibrant and powerful civilization that thrived in mainland Greece and across the Aegean Sea. These were the Mycenaeans, named after their most prominent city, Mycenae, a place of mighty walls and whispers of ancient legends. Their world, a tapestry woven from threads of war and peace, trade and diplomacy, religion and innovation, left an indelible mark on the course of Western civilization. The Mycenaeans, emerging on the historical stage around 1600 BC, weren't merely a prelude to the Greece we often picture in our minds. They were pioneers, forging their own path and establishing a cultural identity that would resonate for centuries. Imagine, if you will, a time when the Greek peninsula was dotted with independent kingdoms, each ruled from a formidable citadel perched atop strategic hills. These were the hallmarks of the Mycenaean world, a world where power was intertwined with architectural prowess and military might. The Mycenaeans, you see, were a warrior people, but they were not just conquerors. They were builders, engineers, and traders who established far-reaching networks across the Mediterranean. Their influence stretched from the shores of Egypt to the islands of Sicily, carrying with them not just goods and resources, but also ideas and cultural practices. What's truly remarkable is their language. They spoke and wrote in an early form of Greek, using a script we call Linear B. This script, deciphered only in the 20th century, provides us with tantalizing glimpses into their lives, their beliefs, and their everyday activities. It's like eavesdropping on a conversation from millennia ago, hearing echoes of their voices in the fragments of clay tablets. Think about this: the myths and legends that would later captivate the Greek world, stories of gods and heroes, of epic journeys and tragic fates, these too have roots in the Mycenaean world. The tales of the Trojan War, of Agamemnon and Achilles, of Odysseus and his perilous voyage home, these were more than just stories. They were cultural touchstones passed down through generations, connecting the Mycenaeans to their descendants in ways we are only beginning to fully comprehend. The Mycenaeans, in essence, laid the groundwork for what would become the classical Greek civilization. They provided the linguistic foundation, the cultural building blocks, and the mythological framework upon which later Greeks would construct their own magnificent edifice of art, philosophy, and democracy. The Mycenaeans may not have built the Parthenon or given us the philosophy of Socrates, but they planted the seeds from which these cultural achievements would ultimately blossom. They were the dawn before the sunrise, the whisper before the roar, the architects of a legacy that continues to shape our world. Their architectural prowess housed not just the royal family, but also a complex network of officials, scribes, artisans, and laborers. These palaces were, in essence, miniature cities, bustling with activity, each playing a vital role in the intricate machinery of the Mycenaean state. Picture this: within the palace walls, scribes meticulously recorded inventories of goods on clay tablets, their Linear B script capturing a snapshot of the Mycenaean economy. Artisans, their skilled hands, guided by generations of tradition, crafted exquisite jewelry, weapons, and pottery, their creations reflecting the wealth and sophistication of their patrons. These palaces weren't just centers of administration and craftsmanship, they were also the focal points of religious rituals and ceremonies. Imagine the king, clad in ceremonial garb, leading processions through the meandering corridors of the palace, his every step imbued with the weight of divine authority. And let's not forget the element of defense. These palaces, strategically positioned and heavily fortified, were more than just symbols of power. They were fortresses designed to withstand sieges and repel invaders. The very architecture of these palaces speaks volumes about the Mycenaean worldview, a world where power had to be constantly defended and where the king was both a warrior and a divine intermediary. The Mycenaean palaces, with their cyclopean walls, their intricate layouts, and their echoes of a long-vanished world, offer us a window into the heart of this fascinating civilization. They were the engines of the Mycenaean world, driving its economy, administering its territories, and projecting its power across the Aegean. These palaces weren't just made of stone and mortar. They were built on a foundation of complex social structures, religious beliefs, and a worldview that revered both martial prowess and administrative efficiency. The Mycenaeans, like many civilizations, knew power had to be defended. Archaeological records tell of a warrior culture, bronze clashing against bronze, shaping their world. Picture the Mycenaean army, charioteers thundering across plains, bronze armor gleaming. They were a well-organized force, equipped with swords, spears, and bows. Their citadels show their military preparedness. These were fortresses designed to withstand sieges. The walls of Mycenae, Tiryns, and Pylos stand as testaments to the threat of war. The Trojan War, immortalized in Homer's epics, reflects Mycenaean warfare. Archaeological evidence suggests a conflict between the Mycenaeans and Troy. The story of the Trojan horse reflects Mycenaean strategy. Heroes like Achilles and Agamemnon might be based on real Mycenaean kings. But war wasn't the only facet of Mycenaean life. They were also skilled diplomats and traders. True power lay in military might and forging alliances. The Mycenaean world was a tapestry of war and peace. Their military prowess was tempered by trade and diplomacy. They waged war with ferocity but secured peace through negotiation. Imagine, if you will, the thrill of discovery. The moment when a long-lost language, silent for millennia, suddenly springs back to life, its secrets whispering to us across the chasm of time. That's precisely what happened in the 20th century with the decipherment of Linear B, the script used by the Mycenaeans. Before this breakthrough, the Mycenaean world was like a puzzle with missing pieces, its grandeur visible in its ruins, but its inner workings shrouded in mystery. Linear B, a syllabic script with over 80 signs, held the key to unlocking this lost world. Think about it. Each clay tablet inscribed with Linear B is like a time capsule, containing fragments of their lives, their thoughts, their beliefs. We find inventories of goods, records of religious offerings, even lists of workers and their occupations. It's like suddenly being able to eavesdrop on the conversations of Mycenaean scribes and administrators, their words revealing the intricate details of their world. Linear B tells us that the Mycenaeans were highly organized, with a complex bureaucratic system that tracked everything from agricultural production to religious rituals. We learn about their pantheon of gods, some of whom, like Zeus and Hera, would later feature prominently in the Greek pantheon. But Linear B doesn't just tell us about the Mycenaean elite, it also sheds light on the lives of ordinary people. We find records of rations given to workers, lists of women employed in textile production, even personal names and family relationships. These glimpses, however fleeting, help us to understand the Mycenaeans not just as a civilization but as a society, a collection of individuals with their own hopes, dreams, and struggles. The decipherment of Linear B was a watershed moment in our understanding of the Mycenaean world. It allowed us to move beyond the grandeur of their architecture and the myths surrounding their civilization, and to connect with them on a more human level. We see their organizational skills, their religious beliefs, their daily routines, and even their personal concerns. Linear B, in essence, gave a voice to the Mycenaeans, allowing them to speak to us directly across the millennia. Their words, preserved on clay tablets, paint a vivid picture of a complex and sophisticated civilization, a civilization that laid the groundwork for much of what we associate with ancient Greece. GAP 3.1s. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Mycenaean civilization. We've explored their mighty citadels, delved into their world of war and diplomacy, and deciphered the secrets of their written language. The Mycenaeans, though their civilization ultimately faded, left an indelible mark on the course of Western civilization. Their language, their myths, their artistic motifs, these would all influence the later Greeks, who in turn would shape the course of Western thought, art, and politics. The next time you gaze upon the ruins of ancient Greece, remember the Mycenaeans, the architects of a golden age. Their legacy lives on, not just in the stones of their cities, but in the very fabric of our cultural inheritance. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more historical explorations.